Hello and welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go through a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. Today's subject, we're going over holidays within WoW, as it is the season to be spooked, which is Hallow's End and Halloween. I thought it's a good time, it's a better time than any, to go over the holidays that are within World of Warcraft and, some of the main ones. There's a lot of smaller holidays and stuff like that, but some of the main ones and just go through what they can offer, what you can do within that holiday, and just why they're good fun, to be honest. As always, we're going to go through the weekly stuff for retail. So the world boss for this week is Oranamonos and Morgeth. Oranamonos is the Ardenweald world boss, so make sure, hop over there, grab your anima, grab your conduits, and get out, nice and easy. Constantly do that each week. The event for this week is Mr. Pandaria Time Walking, and this means that you'll be doing Pandaren dungeons, Temple of the Jade Serpent, stuff like that. If you are looking to get any sort of mounts from that time period, or that the Time Warp badge person sells, then you can definitely look to do them Time Walking dungeons this week. The brawl for this week is Arathi Blizzard, so reduced vision, Arathi Basin is covered in snow, you basically can't see a thing. It makes for good fun, to be honest with you. And obviously we have the ongoing event of Hallow's End, and that is where we'll start off this week, as Hallow's End is the most in-your-face event at the moment, as it is within the game. And what Hallow's End is it's a celebration of Halloween. It's from the 18th of October to the 1st of November in-game. And you have quite a few different things that come with Hallow's End. So firstly, you have the Headless Horseman. Headless Horseman is... he's in everything that is to do with Halloween. He's very much a prominent figure in everything to do with Halloween. He's in-game, he is a boss as well as a NPC to terrorise smaller villages within the game. And what this is, or to go into more detail about it, is basically he will go to either Goldshire, Coronos or Azerwatch if you are Alliance, and I believe, I'm not going to do the Horde names, I'm not good with Horde names, I think it's Razor Hill, I forget the Torren place, and the Undead Brill. So I got 2 out of 3, I'm not too depressed about that. So he'll go to all of these different towns, and he will set fire to 2 of the buildings. And what you have to do, you and your fellow players, whether you're Alliance or Horde, is you have to put out these fires using the water and the buckets that you have been supplied with. So you're constantly battling these fires, and the fires are constantly spreading if you're not clearing them fast enough. And after you've put out the fires, the shade of the horseman will come down, and you basically kill him to get a quest. And the quest is you get a couple pumpkins after that can transform you either into a giant orange person or make you a ghost that's like a floating ghost and stuff like that. And it will lead on to a quest where you have to go into Scarlet Monastery and kill the Headless Horseman. And this is where the boss version of the Horseman is, and you get some nice loot. I'm not going to lie, in TBC you get some really good loot. You can summon him multiple times in TBC. In retail you can only summon him once. Well, you can summon him as many times as you want, but you only get loot once. So the TBC version is far superior, if I do say so myself. But you can get a weapon the horseman's weapon. You can get the horseman's helm, which is, by the way, amazing because you can imitate his laugh and it's got like a 30-second cooldown. So that was good fun, but only for plate wearers. You can get an assortment of rings and stuff, a healing ring, a melee ring, a caster ring, that kind of thing. So if you're looking to gear some people, this is actually quite a nice place to get that bling, that jewellery for your character. And you can get some broomsticks. Now these broomsticks are amazing. There's one that can fly and one that is a ground mount. And there's multiple different broomsticks, so 2 ground mount ones and 2 flying ones. But it doesn't actually matter in TBC because I got the one that's meant to be slower, but it's 100% ground mount anyway. So it's, I don't know, it doesn't really matter which one you get. They're just good fun. They're good fun to play about with during Halloween, and they are only available during Halloween. And then you have the best part, the Headless Horseman mount. Everyone wants this mount. It is absolutely amazing, looks amazing, everyone wants it, and it's a real statement because you can only get it once a year for a couple weeks, and if a very select few amount of people actually get the mount, and it makes it a lot more special when mounts are only obtainable for a small portion of the year. Now, obviously, with the Halloween and Hallows End comes trick-or-treating. Now, trick-or-treating is very much a good, fun little side thing to do. You can get some candy or sweets out of the pumpkin next to every innkeeper, and then you can talk to the innkeeper to be trick-or-treated. If you're tricked, you get a costume put on you, or you get turned into something. So you can be turned, or you can get a costume of a pirate, or you can be turned into this little slug or a bat or anything like that for 45 seconds, that kind of thing. And it's quite a fun little thing, and you really do feel down when you don't get a treat. Instead you get tricked. But if you get a treat, you get a little bag of goodies, some good sweets that you can increase your damage with, healing with, defense, stuff like that. So it's all good fun. And obviously within retail, you can go around to every single of these pumpkins, and you can complete the quest and get achievements for them, and you will get the Hallows End achievement and stuff like that. So you can aim to do that in retail, or you can just have fun trick-or-treating, killing the Headless Horseman when possible. But it's good fun. I love Halloween. I love everything within the game, I love everything that Halloween brings to the game with the Headless Horseman. It brings life to starting zones where higher level characters wouldn't usually be. It would just be like level 6s or level 5s to 11s running about and stuff like that. Whereas now you're seeing some level 60s, some 70s, some 55s, random levels. Come in, help put out the fire, get a quest done or two. It's always good fun. The next holiday we're going to be going over is Brewfest. Now, Brewfest has just gone, and it's a bit of a weird one, really, Brewfest. It's outside Ironforge for Alliance. I'm not too sure what it is for Horde, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big Horde player myself, but I believe it would be Orgrimmar. I wouldn't imagine it's Thunderbluff. It could be Undercity, to be honest. It could be any. It could be absolutely any. I'm going to guess Thunderbluff, actually, because Dark Moonfair is there, so it wouldn't necessarily be the most out of this world thing. But Brewfest, you have just loads of dwarves for near Ironforge getting absolutely drunk, hammered and stuff like that. You have events such as the Ram Race, so you've got to run between where you start and Karanos and pick up these constant things in retail. You've got where you have to deliver some, I think, ale or beer to people in Ironforge, or a message, and you get a sort of timer on this ram, and it's all good fun. You can earn tokens by doing these quests, and you can purchase a load of things such as cosmetics, a membership to the Brew of the Month club it was, so you get sent through ale every month. And not gonna lie, it kind of got annoying after the second or third month. I've just got this ale in my bank, or not in my bank, in my mailbox, and I can't delete it from the mailbox. I have to pick it up, click it out of my bag, delete and stuff like that. I suppose I could use it, but I think you actually get the bottle to throw at people after, so I might need to do that just to build up a stash of bottles, empty bottles to throw at people. So you can buy many different things with this. You can get some beer goggles, I'm pretty sure, and everything like that. And obviously Brewfest has its own boss as well, which is Corin Diabrew. I believe that's his name. And he is in Blackrock Depths. So these bosses are a bit weird because they spawn in old dungeons. It's not like they have their own separate instance or they're just going to be out in the world. They'll just be like a world boss spawn. No, they're in their own instance. So the Diabrew boss is in Blackrock Depths, and he is in the Grim Guzzler, the pub within Blackrock Depths. And what you do is you smash some kegs to summon him, because dwarves love their ale, I guess. So he can drop all sorts of things, trinkets and stuff like that, but he can also drop a Kodo. And this Kodo is quite sought after. Again, it's like the Headless Horseman mount. Some people like it because it's a Horde mount. It is a Kodo mount, so a Tauren for Alliance. And some people might like the Horseman mount because it's a horse and you can't get that on Horde. So it is a real statement for the opposite faction, that kind of thing. So a lot of people prefer the Brewfest mount on Alliance possibly compared to the Headless Horseman mount, but it just depends on your personal preference, to be honest. Again, these mounts are very good. They're very rare, but very fun to see around because it is a statement that you have one and you're one of the very few people that do. It's kind of like the Strathold mount. We only ever knew one or maybe two people on my classic server who got it, and it was a Dwarf Rogue, I believe. But yeah, no one else who had it, and it was only that Dwarf who had it, and it's a real statement. That's the thing. Now, moving on to Children's Week. Children's Week is in both retail and classic as well. And what you do is you basically visit an orphanage in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and you adopt a child. Now, this child isn't someone who's going to be with you for the rest of your character's life, I can tell you that, because you throw them back at the orphanage after about 2 weeks. It's like, oh, that was good, now go back there, I don't want to deal with you anymore. But the child offers you a lot of quests, and these quests are very remote quests. So in retail, I know that there's one to go and visit Old Ironforge. Now, Old Ironforge isn't opened up until Cataclysm, I believe. So you go down into the underneath of Ironforge, and this is where Magnes turn to diamond and stuff like that. And your child just sort of gives a lot of dialogue along the way. And it's quite fun to explore these places, and you have to get a chopper ride in Westfall and go around this vortex with your kid and stuff like that. So it's really sweet quests that you wouldn't ever usually do, but they're quite enjoyable, to be honest. There's something different, and that's what makes it fun, in all honesty. Now, with completing these quests, you obviously get some perks with it. So you can get pets, and there's multiple pets to choose from. You can have a pig, a turtle, and there's something else, but I honestly don't remember what it is because I always go for the turtle, and the turtle is obviously called Speedy because he's the best turtle ever. So I've got him on Classic, got him on Retail. He's amazing. I wouldn't trade him for the world. But you can get multiple toys as well from the kids. I believe you can buy foam swords, and you have to do a quest to buy a foam sword for you and your child. And there's loads of good fun that you can have with it. And there's loads of good fun that can be had in Children's Week. Even if you just want to get the pet at the end of it, you can power through these quests and just get the pet and ditch the child at the end. It sounds brutal and horrible, but that's the reality of it. But it's good fun. I enjoyed just the quests alone because it takes me to places that I wouldn't usually go on that character. I wouldn't go to Westfall on my max level character. I wouldn't be looking around at Ironforge and going down into Old Ironforge and stuff like that, seeing all of that. So it's good fun. It allows you to explore, which is really good. You have Feast of Winter Veil. Now this is going to be the next event that comes up, and who doesn't love Christmas, to be honest? Christmas is a great time of year. I love it because I love the cold weather compared to the hot. That's definitely a perk for me, to be honest, because it's you can always warm up, but it's tough to cool yourself down. But Feast of Winter Veil is very great because you've got a little line going up to Santa in Ironforge. You've got loads of. You can actually get snow in WoW, I'm pretty sure, or you can have it a bit Christmassy. I'm pretty sure. I might just be going absolutely crazy with that. But what you can do during the Feast of Winter Veil is you can grab a couple quests. Now, these quests will take you to the Outreck Mountains, I believe, and what there is there for you is a boss, and it's a world boss called Krampus. Is it Krampus or Krampus? Krampus, I'm pretty sure. And Krampus, if you didn't know, is basically the opposite of Santa. He takes kids who have been naughty. That's kind of dark, but that is it. That is it. But what you're doing here is killing him and freeing. I think it is literally just called Metzen the reindeer, and you can get mounts out of this as well. So you can get Krampus the mount, and this is quite sought after because you can sell it on the auction house if you wish to just get the gold and don't necessarily like the mount. It's quite a rare one, and I quite like it. It's got the same skeleton as the Gronlings from Warlords of Draenor, so it's not too bad looking, and it's got its own unique model, so it's quite fun. But I think it's tougher to farm because it's sort of in the open world, unlike the Headless Horseman, Corrin Diablo, and stuff like that. You can get multiple toys, and the way that you can do this is obviously the presents underneath the tree. So the presents are there from the very start. So they're always going to be there from the very start of Feast of Winter Veil. But on the 25th, them presents will be available to all of you, to everyone on the server, absolutely everyone, to open. And you can open them and get some toys, some cosmetics, and loads of little things and stuff like that, which I find is a really nice. It's a nice thing to do because it's Christmas Day. Everyone loves opening presents Christmas Day. Everyone enjoys it. It's something to look forward to if necessarily you don't like opening presents in real life. You can obviously open them in WoW and get a toy or a cosmetic out of it and have some fun with it, and it's good fun. It's a really nice little thing that they've put into WoW that is quite enjoyable, and it's having that extra feeling. So you run down, you open your presents in real life, then you hop on WoW quickly just to open the presents in game, and you go off and go return to your real life and stuff like that. And it's just another feeling to keep it going, that Christmas spirit going almost, which is quite fun, and I really enjoy it. Now, Lunar Festival is another event, not one that I've necessarily been enthralled by in the past, but not necessarily one that I think is really awful and just shouldn't be in the game. It's there. I know it's there. And trust me, I know it's there because this is the only achievement that is stopping me from getting the achievement. It's been a long and weird journey or something like that, which will give me a mount, which, I just can't be asked to do. I really can't. But the Lunar Festival is basically referencing the Chinese New Year's and stuff like that. So you have multiple Chinese New Years. Like every year is a different like year of the pig, year of the rooster, stuff like that. And you also have so loads of like firework displays are going off each and around the city. You can set off your own firework display. You can do many different things within the game. You can get cosmetics, so lovely red dresses and all of that. You can get some toys. You can get a light of balloons, all of that sort of stuff. But there is a boss as well. He's called Omen, and he is a demigod. I don't think he drops anything special, though. He doesn't drop a mount, at least not to my knowledge. I would be farming him if he did. But he doesn't drop many things, and you've got loads of these different spirits that pop up around the world, and you can interact with them to get the currency called the Spirit of an Ancestor. And this is your currency for the event, and this is how you buy the cosmetics and stuff like that. It isn't the most in-depth event, But it's quite nice to just see fireworks going off. You can set your own fireworks off. You can do a lot of RP and loads of stuff like that in-game with your friends if you do enjoy this event. And it does fit well into WoW, especially if you're a night elf or something. It fits very well. Now, this is mainly because I always associate it with night elves, because it's always in Moonglade that this stuff happens. That's where the world boss or the boss is. That's where the vendor is, I believe, for all of the cosmetics. So, you know, it's a small thing, but I don't mind it. It's quite nice to just come across every now and again. Noble Garden. Now, Noble Garden is one of my favourites, it's got to be said. It's Easter, so you have Easter egg hunts, and literally it's the same as Hallow's End. You'll be going around the old sort of towns, the secondary towns that you run into: Goldshire, Caranos, Azerwatch, Razor Hill, the Brill, and stuff like that. And you'll be looking for eggs. That's it. And it's really good fun, and I really enjoy it because the eggs are they are your currency. So you're obviously fighting everyone else for your currency because everyone's searching for the eggs. Everyone's picked like a spot where they can have 2 spawn points and stuff like that. It's quite fun to just do and beat people to the eggs. If you've got a more mobile class, like a demon hunter, druid maybe, then you're going to be in luck. But if you're a priest, if you're a warrior just walking, or a paladin waddling about, yeah, good luck to you. So what you can get during Noble Garden or Easter is mounts that you can get, and I believe you can get a couple of them. No, it's just one. It's I forget what they're called. Flamingo-looking things. It's not a flamingo, is it? Plain striders, that kind of thing. The 2-legged beaked things, I've forgotten what they're called. They have strider in their name. I'm just going to go with that. But I can visualise what I mean, alright? But you can get a mount out of it. You can obviously get a couple cosmetics. You can get multiple different toys. You can get a load of things with the Noble Garden. But honestly, the Easter egg hunts are so much fun. Just try them. Try and set a challenge of who can collect the most eggs in 3 minutes with your friends or something. You know, and bet 50 gold or 100 gold on it. It's loads of different things that you can do during Noble Garden. And, you know, you can really mix and match it. Midsummer Fire Festival. This one I remember quite a lot, mainly because in Classic it gave buffs, and obviously it was a world buff, and this world buff was good in raids, and all that stuff. I couldn't be arsed with it. I just like Midsummer Fire Festival for what it is. It is, you know, ribbon dancing, it's torch catching, loads of cosmetics, like a toy and loads of stuff. But and also it's got a boss when TBC came out, because it wasn't in Classic, the boss for Midsummer Fire Festival. So you obviously have a boss where you can get loot, a nice scythe from him. You can get multiple, I'm pretty sure there's like rings, backs and stuff like that from the boss as well. But it's always nice to have a boss during a event, to be honest. So the ribbon poles are obviously really nice if you are leveling, because what you can do is you can use the ribbon pole and you can get a 60-minute buff for your experience. And this XP is 10% increased XP for 60 minutes, unless you die, obviously, in which case that's on you. That's definitely your fault. That's no one else's. You can also do the torch catching, and this torch catching you can do an achievement for in retail, but you can also do just the normal quest for it, and it'll give you a bit of money. It'll give you quite a bit of XP if you are a lower level and stuff like that. So by the currency for Midsummer Fire Festival is these flowers, and what you do is you go around to each bonfire. So either for the Alliance or Horde one, you go to the opposite faction and you snuff out the fire. and you get the currency for it. And you can use this to purchase cosmetics, such as an entire outfit, so the headpiece, shoulders and chest, and you got like a fire festival robe. You can get a toy, which is a dancing flame, which turns you into a like fiery Draenei when you dance with it and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's really enjoyable, and I always wanted that toy, but I've not got it yet because I'm too lazy. And finally, Love is in the Air. This one is obviously a reference to Valentine's Day, February, around that time. And you have the normal stuff that you'd expect with holidays at this point. You have a mount or 2 mounts that you can get. You can get toys, and there's a boss to kill. The boss obviously drops a mount, and it's a boss that is also found in an old dungeon again, which is... I've forgotten the name of the dungeon. It's the one in Silver Pine Forest. I remember the zone. I do not remember the actual dungeon name. Horde players will know what I'm talking about, but I know the zone. I can't think of the actual dungeon itself, which is ridiculous. I've just drawn an entire blank on it. But it's the one with Sons of Aragorn and whatnot. I even remember NPCs from the dungeon, but... You know, it's one of them things. But it's the one that's in Silver Pine Forest. I know that much. And you can probably find out, like, if you just look at Silver Pine Forest. But, again, it's another boss in an old dungeon. I think they realised that they wanted to bring people back to these dungeons that they put a lot of time and effort into, which makes sense, because once you get past that level threshold, you don't see them. You don't see them unless you're making a new ult, in which case you're not really appreciating the dungeons. You're very much just burning through it to get the levels. So it makes sense that they put bosses in old sort of dungeons just to give them a purpose for people at a later level, which is really good to see. The toys that you can get in there are obviously to do with, say, like a bow and arrow with like a love heart and stuff like that. You can get a pet, which is called Cuddle Feet, I believe. It's literally a goblin that is meant to be Cupid. He's got a little bow and arrow, but it's a floating goblin. It's quite funny, to be honest. Now, these are the main sort of holidays in WoW. You have a couple small ones, like Pilgrim's Bounty, which is to show people the food and giving sort of time of year, where you share what you've been given, you know, the bountiful harvest, stuff like that. But out of all of the holidays, these are definitely the bigger ones that I enjoy. And my top picks, my top 3 would definitely be Hallow's End, I think, is the very top. Hallow's End, Headless Horseman, Goldshire on fire, putting out the fires, the chance of a mount dropping, absolutely insane. Absolutely love it, and I wouldn't trade that as top spot for anything else. Is Feast of Winter Veil. It's got to be my second. Christmas, getting presents from underneath the tree, saving Metz and the reindeer, having chance of a mount again, all very, very good. And then Noble Garden, Easter egg hunts around Goldshire again, or Karanos, Azawatch, Brill, wherever you are. You know, fighting people for the eggs, shoving them out of the way, stuff like that. It's like, yep, that's mine. You got to deal with that. It's great fun. All of it is great fun, and the holidays in WoW are really good. They're small things to distract you from not maybe having not much to do. You might have hit max level and you're sort of waiting for the next raid to come around this week. So you've got 5 days of just not knowing what to do within the game. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can do Headless Horseman every day. Oh, okay, I can go and, you know, farm some Easter eggs for some currency to get this mount. Oh, okay, I can, you know, pop to kill Krampus and save Metzen or whatever. It's something else in the game that you can look to do. And that's what makes all of the holidays in WoW very good for me. And with it being Hallow's End, it's made it really good. I really do like Hallow's End. And the Headless Horseman, I've always been intrigued with him from a very young age. I won't go much into that, but there was a film, Sleepy Hollow, that I absolutely enjoyed, apparently. and it had to be taken away from me. That's a Headless Horseman film. So I'm not sure what it is, but something about the Headless Horseman just makes it really fun. So I had to put that one at my top. Hi there, Warcraft fans. It's just me again. Wanted to thank you for your time in listening to this week's podcast. I love making these for you all, and I couldn't be happier in doing so. Seeing the downloads go up and up each week is amazing. You can show your support more by something as simple as rating this episode, or by dropping me a question via email that I can answer in a later podcast. To take it that extra step further and really show that you love the content that's being produced, you can check out the Pig and Whistle Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee page. Either of these would be a massive help to continue what I'm doing right now for you guys. Thank you all very much for your time, and go with Valor, friend.